Conversation about what you've learned today, and what if someone was watching this would probably go and say, yeah, that's a bit of me. To kind of outline the contents, it would be knowing that if you ever catch yourself in a daydream and you ask, what am I actually doing here? And then you go to like this logical thinking pattern of, oh, I should be doing X, Y, and Z, and then these external things, and this internal voice is telling me this thing. Then also another lens to see you in that moment in time is I'm just being. I'm just being. It doesn't have to be a particular outcome. It doesn't have to be a particular thing. It doesn't have to be a XYZ. Okay. Then a few other points I was touching on is neurochemistry and neurotechnology, and how that different levels of what you have within your, say, the layer of the brain puzzle, which could be the neurochemistry. It could be, okay, how does the cell function, how does the mitochondria function, how does the influence of my belief process in the unified field of the consciousness, or unified field of consciousness work, or what is that looking like? Okay. And then how is that affecting me? Because, for example, if you had a hose and then you had a fire hose and you put a hose into your ear and then you put a fire hose out through your ear, which one do you think has more influence, or which one's more powerful? If you really want to answer, it's going to be the freaking fire hose that's going out. Okay, so that's the same when you were perceiving something and absorbing it from the outside coming in. That's the hose. But what your mind thinks and believes things and what it knows or has experience of, it is projecting out like a fire hose, like a projector, out with all the freaking volts of energy. And it's gonna, if it's 10 times more, that's a lot stronger than what's coming in. So another way to demonstrate what I'm saying here is with projection of your reality and what it is and beliefs can be seen to be like a person who doesn't have a good vision with glasses on. Okay, and let's say the 2 out of 20 vision. Okay, then you have another person who doesn't even wear glasses and on 20/20 vision. Then you might have another person who has this enhanced goggle visions, and maybe they can filter through multiple parts of reality and whatever it might be, and then they're operating 100 out of 100. And it's not even on your scale. You didn't even perceive, oh, 100 and 100 vision, what the fuck is that? Okay, and then it's like, whoa, there's a lot of multitude of levels of which you can see things. But if you put yourself into the person that's maybe a 2 out of 20, knowing about plants, or knowing about exercise, or knowing about psychology, or knowing about how to cook a freaking lasagna, then you go, well, of course I can teach them this thing, that thing, that thing, because I know it. But then when you talk about this metaphysics or unified field of consciousness or Akashic records, I haven't a clue what you're talking about, because the model there is not there. So you go, well, what's that? No, that doesn't make sense. Or it's this newness, it's confusion. Perfect. It's triggered confusion. Now it's time to elaborate. What could that be? What is that? Oh, okay. Now, what do we generally do when we get something new? We try and attach it to something current that may be true to you, or it could be to make sense of something, like an anchor. Like an analogy is very much an anchor for someone to understand things. So an analogy I could use for a model that you all know is going to be, we have this umbrella term of a model, encapsulated all things. Then you have the string that comes down. Okay, let's just say we want to explain an umbrella term of a model, which would be the plot. Okay, then that breaks down to an even other one, which would be drama. And then another part of this strand of drama is going to be the trifecta of drama that's in movies. What could that look like, Kevin? What could that be? Well, what it could be is the hero. There could be the villain. There could be the victim. Okay, and you could be in this plot and you see it playing out in the drama and the series and the TV show and the movies that you watch, or maybe you're in it yourself with the partner that you're with, or with your family members, or even yourself. Okay, oh, this shouldn't have happened to me, I shouldn't have done this, and fuck, that happened to me, I got triggered. Perfect. Getting triggered is like an electric energy that comes from the freaking unified field of consciousness and excites you. Okay, because you got a reaction, you were out of this normal sense of being, but you were unaware. then you have this trigger, and it's turned on these light bulbs of either an automated response of I'm gonna react and freaking smash this person's head open, or it could be no, I'm just gonna take a breather, and I'm just gonna take some time to really consider the situation, and I just need some time to step away from it, and I'm gonna get back to you in a few months. That could be a response, or it could be storming out. It could be talking it out straight away. It could be this had no real effect on you, or you choose for it to. You acknowledge, hey, this happened. You validate this energy, and you say to it, oh, it's okay. Yeah, I see you. Yeah, you came up. Yeah, you don't close it, because if you close something and it's in your heart, it's gonna beat. It's beating around already. You think it's gonna go away? No, it's locked in there. Might suppress it. It'll be there, be locked up, maybe even shackled, and it might even shackle you. And what I mean by that is, like, if you hold on to things and you shackle them, put them down, they tend to mentally arrest you. So you literally handcuff yourself, okay, and your potential to being something and doing things in life, because you literally have attention units that are being put into that thing to process it over again and over again and over again throughout your lifetime. And then you will never, unless you ask yourself this question, see the processes, or the, if I drop that thing and it ripples out consistently throughout my timeline of my life, and it's rippled into these different aspects of my life, it's having an effect across the poly realms that exist within life. It's holistic, interconnected web of life. And with that, it's like assessing, well, just because I lock something up, I can choose to keep it locked, I can choose to open that up, and maybe feelings and triggers and all that sort of stuff come up to you, and you might go, oh, Kevin, that's a bit, of a sensitive topic. It's a bit of a thing that, it gets me down. Or it could be, those are generally the ways people will view a thing that's difficult or difficult. Newness tends to be difficult, or that word difficult, okay? Now, to look at that in an etymological word, I'd actually love to just know that off the top of my hat and tell you, okay? And generally, when you actually look at, say, an etymological meaning of a word versus the denotation or connotation or the Oxford Dictionary of that word, you go, whoa, this instrument of language of which I've access to really can be seen in a different way. It's like having a different guitar model. It's like you have the bass guitar, you have an acoustic guitar. They both technically have the umbrella term of guitar, but the effect of which they play on is completely different. Same with the way of the words you are using, because it's literally like a linguistic lexicon, okay? And the meaning of which you put behind those words gives that projection in your head the belief of what those words mean and do. And then if you flip it on its head and you were operating from this space of, oh, I have an etymological meaning of words, then that puts another filter. So now you've went from maybe 10 out of 20 vision to 20/20 vision there. Possibly, because it's such a mind expanding thing for you. Then you might go further and further. Oh, the connotation, the denotations of words, and then that unlocks more lenses. You thought you were at your 20/20, but actually there's more to it as you unravel this thread of thought, this awareness that's only came to you. And now it's power. That's what that is. That'll inspire you the frick up. Okay? Why? Because you use the linchpin of what things are and the way of which you're processing things dominantly, which is through language, through the brain, in a probably rational thought process, or the dominant brain, which could be left side, yeah, and a right brain, creative side. Hopefully I did not mix that up. Yeah, so if you go back to the conversation of, okay, that's a way of which you can process things is through language, then you could also, if you don't know, process through through your breathing, your heart, your playfulness with things, your lenses of perspective of which you could put on a situation. You could build this beautiful, beautiful reality of whatever this choice may be, okay? And then you can use the binary question of yes or no. I go with this reality or I go with this reality. And then you have these two threads. So imagine I have a box here, and then you go, yes, I do this. No, I do this in this reality. Okay, and then it splits off onto these multitude of choices that you could make, and then again it opens up like an onion's layer in each of those choices that you made. Okay, so it's initially like that model of systems thinking. I think you have system 1, system 2. Okay, and then what you want to do is follow it, go deep, go to make the decision, a decision, or just flesh things out, because more than likely when you iron something out like a piece of paper, on it 50% of the problem is already solved. You got it on the piece of paper. I went from this whole mental to a physical form straight in front of your eyes. Okay, you literally had this mental imagery of what that was, and then you put it down into a piece of paper and you brought it into physical reality. What was in here, in the higher faculties of imagination, creativity, mind, has came in through you, through your hand, as an instrument of coordinating what was in here or above or in a unified field of consciousness, and came through your hand into that piece of paper. Okay, what a freaking powerful thing. Like, why the frick would you ever learn how to write? Why would you learn how to speak? Why would you do all these things and not utilize them? Or is it because you're like a deficient or something? Kevin, you say deficient. What do you mean deficient? Well, I mean, you're aware of like your thoughts, and writing and reading is literally like you gaining armor and having swords, and this armor just increases like a game, and it's upgrading with all these reference points of which you have about things, maybe nature or life or philosophical people and things and the way they live their lives, and it brings all these neural networks and the mycology, the how do you say it's like the node in the network of the mycelium network. If you're to know about like soil, okay, then you have the mycelium network, which you'd have mushrooms, okay, and then you're like this potential right here in the network, and you're pulsating the whole time, living, dead, whatever. You're in. Everything's existing. It's just unclotted, and you don't think it may be existing or existed, or you came up with this new freaking whatever. It's new to you, yes, because you're the new one to the game. The game is life. The game is that everything is pre-existing. Everything's there. It's just you have to take the veil, take it off the unclotted potential that is there. True a stimulus or true a catalyst that makes you go and look at that thing and say, whoa, I want to have a look at that. Okay, yeah, Kevin gave me the invitation to go to etymological dictionary, or he said, oh my god, there's this reference point and analogy that he brought up earlier to do with anchors, and anchors could be, oh yeah, the way I see things, and then professional sees that thing, or an unconventional professional, so let's say Western medicine. That's funny. Okay, Eastern medicine or functional medicine might look at someone that's prescribing Western medicine and pharmaceuticals, it's completely different. It's another perspective, it's another lens, another thing. And you go, well, yeah, Mother Nature did kind of exist for who knows how long. And then you have this newfound pharmaceuticals to trump Mother Nature, or use Mother Nature and design it in a way where if it's not patentable, it's not profitable, so we're not going to encourage it. Okay, that could be a thought to rest upon and think upon. I shall not go further with that. As 14 minutes in, I would say this is rather taking what I thought when I was literally in my garden and asked myself that question of, what am I doing? And the answer was being, or was rational. Like, oh, I should do X, Y, Z. And then you might be thinking to yourself, well, yeah, that actually sounds like me sometimes, being honest. Like, I'll go on this learning venture of these particular things, and I'll go, yeah, I learned that. Well, I learned, maybe a better word is, I got a data set, okay, for information. And let's say you observe that that data set is there right now in your consciousness, or yeah, probably consciousness. And then there's levels to it of like really being entrenched, embedded into, okay, like reticular activation system, okay, that's pretty much entrenched people, okay. You know that experiment of, if I tell you to, or sorry, you watch that video where you have the gorillas, okay, and then they say, oh sorry, you put the basketballs, okay, the answer away, and then you're counting them into balls that are bounced, I think. And then there's a gorilla that passes the ball, but you don't recognize it, okay? Or you go outside and you say, oh, I want to count all the red cars in the next 20 seconds as much as you can. And then they don't see all the green or the blue or the yellow or the white or the black or the purple, whatever. Homer Simpson, who knows? And then it goes on to say, well, yeah, that does exist, okay? And then sometimes that could even come into dating. It's like, oh my God, all these people are not of my type and whatever, 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 whatever. And you're seeing all those things, okay? Maybe there's a new set of criteria that could go towards your idea that would suit it, okay? Or maybe the environments of which you're in do not elicit the ideal avatars of which you find to be optimal sexual or ideal partners within your life, okay? Then you have to reassess of what you're doing, not what you are seeming to maybe fixate on, okay? Like, I'm fixating on these things, and oh, everyone's a certain thing, and oh my God, there's no traditionalism or whatever you're into, okay? Or everything's fucking hanging out each other like a Dublin bus, you know what I mean? So with that, see how when you put your mind to something, generally you'll see it. Does that make sense? With the whole thing of, you have a hose, or you have projection, which is the fire hose, which is the 10 times the neural network, the neural pathways going from the brain to the eyes than there is from the eyes to the brain. So the projection is 10 times stronger to the eyes than the projection from the eyes to the brain, okay? Now, you might go and say to yourself, whoa, 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 what am I supposed to do with that? Well, yeah, freaking wrestle with it, bro. See what comes up for you. Yeah. Like, literally think of all the parts of your life, put it into a petri dish, okay? Then ask yourself, am I shackled? Am I constrained? Am I penny pension here in my pockets to do with this idea? Like, I don't have enough mental cash to even consider what the frick Kevin said, or consider what this proposal was from this person, or this idea was from this person. Okay, well, isn't it more powerful when you have more information? And then you can act upon that and make an experience, and then it becomes knowledge. And then you could go trial and test the Thrive model, and you could go through these different things where you go, okay, this is a new data set, I'm going to apply the data set, okay, then I'm going to get a result, and then from the result, what am I going to do? I'm going to assess what that result was against whatever criteria you make out to be, and then I'm going to recalibrate doing that again, and then try and enhance whatever I did in the first place, okay? So if I went to kick a football, okay, my idea was to kick a football, and then I actually kicked the football, and then I kick it 100 times, and then actually the criteria of kicking the football 100 times, my criteria was a volume of 100 times, okay? Then I bring in the other criteria of, actually I need to plant 2 steps ahead in order to get enough distance and power through the ball in order to score the ball. Okay, cool, I just kicked that harder from taking 2 steps before, okay, or whatever it might be, or I do a run up to the ball, or whatever it might be, okay? Now, that's a different set of criteria that got a different set of results, because the criteria and the specification of the action was outlined, and it was an enhanced criteria to get an enhanced result that further progresses me to my ideal outcome. Now, would I need another perspective lens on that? Yes, of course. It's like having a swimming teacher. You go and think you're gonna freaking learn the theory of swimming. No, what you need a swimming teacher gonna be like, well, your butt is freaking sinking down, no wonder you're sinking down. Then the upper body is doing all the work. Well, yeah, bring your freaking feet up, and then you're gonna be more buoyant and balanced, okay? Or it could be, yeah, you're literally drowning like a freaking tank because of, you know, you don't know how to swirl your legs around because you've never been taught to do that, or you don't have the strength to do it, or whatever it may be, or all these sort of things. Okay, or honest, yeah, that thread is gone. So we talked about newness, we talked about models, ideas, concepts, umbrella terms, systems of thinking, application when you're just in it and not of it. Didn't really touch on that. Really comes into the plot. Okay, you can observe that this plot is playing out between, say, a group of friends. Okay, or maybe your mate's in a relationship and he's telling you about it, and you know, you can kind of see, yeah, this is kind of, bro, this is what's playing out, and they don't even know the model of you can be in it but you're not of it. So my emotion, like, I'm in it technically, like in reality I'm in this situation with this person, listening to them, okay, but I'm not of it, investing my freaking emotions into this and getting so mentally rested, like, oh my god, how come you guys, well, he, she, whoever did whatever, and then it's like, oh my god, this absolute, no, okay, yeah, bro, it's like, all right, yeah, this is what's going on. And yeah, you could look at it like this, you could look at it like that, okay? There's huge different language there versus right or wrong of me, no, and this, that, the other, the rules, they broke XYZ. Rules. Bro, you don't even know what the rules are. They don't even know what the rules are. You never even explain these rules. Like, if you had a mature conversation about, hey, do you mind looking into this material, like embracing ourselves, and how, like, we have different selves and different needs, and how, like, you know, if we're able to label these selves, then Kevin, what are you talking about? So if you had a hard working self, or you had this lover self or affectionate self, and you like the touch aspect, you like appreciative words, you like the show of service of act, and that's your love language to someone, but theirs might be something else, and then they're not they feel like they're not receiving it, and they just feel like, oh, the connection isn't there. Well, there's this cognitive dissonance, really, because it's like you think you're doing something but it's really not being transmutated, because the receptor of that self or signaling of that self doesn't receive that signal, or doesn't really perceive that as you perceive it, which was, oh yeah, I'm gonna do the service, and then it's gonna be like that, and that's me showing my love. Okay, cool. And then your partner goes, well, you don't really touch her, there's no really affection, and yeah, I don't really think you love me, I don't, whatever. So that's a model they've in their head, you've your model in your head. But what would be, like, literally one of the best things to do? It would be to have a conversation, or, hey, would you like to look into this way of, like, discovering each other? Of, hey, yeah, like, do you know what, I really like it when you do this, and, you know, like, it makes me feel this sort of way. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I literally love it when you do that, okay? And then the person, or your partner, or your friend, or whoever it might be, goes, oh, well, that's a good encouragement. Yeah, I did a good thing. People like that, you know? And what does that open up? So much more playfulness, less stress, more states of intelligence being exchanged through playfulness, or through each other, less friction. Because the less friction, what do you think happens with less friction? Like, what's friction do? It generally breaks things up, right? And it stimulates certain things, okay? And just by you fixing that could fix an array of things. To me, that would be a linchpin. So think of an action that follows the 80-20 rule, where 20% the 20% of an action gives 80% of the results. Let's say that's the linchpin, if you want to know what that word is, essentially, in that situation. And it's like, well, what's the difference between a normal relationship and a one with a partner? Is generally the amount of time that you spend with each other. It is the different elements of each type of brain that we have that attracts us to that person and that way of being. And then a big trump factor, of course, is the physical intercourse or being with each other. And it's like, if that big linchpin is not being assessed by either side, and it's not an open discourse of conversation and dialogue, then more than likely it's going to crumble, or things are going to come up, because it's not what you're saying, or it could be what you're saying you think is being heard, but it's not being heard. Communication is not what is said, it is what is heard. Okay? And with that, you should consistently be refining that, and ask yourself, how would I know that message got across to that person, to that thing? Or what sort of frame of reference would they receive that information from? Of, oh, I understand. Well, was your partner acknowledged? Were they heard? You could ask yourself those questions. I'm forgetting one more of that criteria. It'll come to me. Heard, acknowledged, and validated. That's what it is. Follow those 3 keys. Another law is stop trying to control. The frame of right, wrong should be, let the person be. It doesn't follow the, pretty sure it's the 3rd law. Has to do with inflicting on someone's being. And then basically you're constraining the divine operation of that person. And the repercussions will be shown in your life. And then the way around that is inviting the dialogue from one another to open up a discourse about ideas of which both of you think you have with the relationship, with a outcome of what things could be, should be, etc. Because otherwise you're literally creating these rule books in your head about this relationship or this thing, and then it just freaking nothing, just conflict. It's just traditional model of villain, hero, or victim. And if you pick up those things, just expect to get those results of what you see in movies and you see in TV series. You've seen the results, you know what they're like, you know what they are. But go and think of a relationship, go and think of a thing that, holy crap, that is literally such a beautiful relationship, I'd love to have that. Yeah? Well, we're gonna start. Ask yourself the question, who's the model? What's the model that you're looking for that would do that? Okay? And following on from this, do not pick up the drama monkeys. That's a start. Don't pick up the monkey. I didn't like you did that. What's your action? Catch yourself. Get the reaction. Get that trigger. What is the reaction? Now, just pause. What did you just do there? Stopped your immediate automated reaction to get this out? Or you decided, I'm going to shut down because I didn't know what to do and say? Okay. And then you just walk off. Or an anchor of, hey, you can see you're an island. Yeah, I really just didn't mean to do that. Or you could say, upon that, I actually think would be better is like, whoa, is everything okay? Or, hey, did something happen more than this today? And that's more of a concerning tone to a situation rather than a, oh, no, I'm not doing that. Like, that's bollocks. No, you should be doing that. Or, fuck off, walk away. Or, well, you didn't do this last time, so I'm not going to do it this time. Jesus Christ, what a child's play. Get a life, would you? Grow up and talk. Have a dialogue. Well, what's the dialogue, Kevin? What do I do? Well, obviously I'm going to have a distraction. yeah, you're having a reaction that's what getting you conventional results of a relationship that doesn't work, or it does work. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You tell me, what are your results? What are they like? Would you want it to be more loving? Would you be more sexual energy between both of you? Would you like to have a whole family and do things together and have this absolutely freaking beautiful experience where you two are, you know, best friends and rooting for each other and being all charismatic and being about life and the divine operation of what's possible and a sense of distribution to each other, and be serving to each other about all the possibilities which can happen in life, and being a freaking team and making that happen for you, your family, your friends, all the local environment, the world, whoever it might be. That's a lot of power going up like that, versus down into the drains and keeping it there and keeping the crevice of your mind, oh, I wish I said this, that, the other, to be like this absolute spark of nourishment and debatism and, oh, I won this. Okay. What are you doing? Calm down. Take a breather. Catch where your heart is. Is it beating fourfolds more than it usually does? Is it there? Could you do the unautomated response where you hug your partner in that situation, or give them a peck and a kiss, and they don't know, well, what the fuck? That was not the usual response. Oh, okay, that's interesting. And then what happened there? Are they embarrassed? Are they, whoa, flabbergasted, whatever? They get mad defensive, or you change their state of being right in that moment, and you probably want to discover it. Yeah, you want to discover your partner more. Like, I took them out of their state. That was the switch. The switch on you would have been react, okay, but the other switch that you had was the non-automated switch that you put on your partner, which allowed them to expand in some sort of way that was not normal. So then you turned a switch on them, and then you acknowledge that if you'd like to, but that kind of ruins the fun. Just gone to discovery. Hey, yeah, what could be a question that would allow them to feel like they're being listened to? What's an open-ended loop question you could ask? Ask yourself that. What could it be? What could I ask in that? Cleaning. Oh, the cleaning. I'm the best cleaner in the world. What are you talking about? You could bring some humor into it and joke. I know everything about cleaning, but I also couldn't tell my arse from my elbow. That's another thing you could say. Who's gonna have an automated response to that? Maybe laughter does. Maybe the self of them within them goes, fuck that. They just laugh. Just laugh and shuck, and you know what's literally happened right there. The energy exchange has completely changed. It's completely changed, okay? And then you go, whoa, 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 whoa. If I just did that more often, how much more playful is that in my relationship with this person or that thing? And what does that invite? It invites more playfulness, because generally it takes two to tango, okay? But one of the people has to start the freaking tango, okay? And then the other one probably joins in, or it's a dance, okay? Imagine this dance of relationship. You put a move, you receive a move. You teach a move, you get a move. You refine the move, you keep it going with a playful energy, moving dance of dialogue, of movement, of play, of touch, of being. You freaking do that, your relationship is just tenfolded, gazillion folded. Like, literally just think of the ripple effect of that. You get that as your automated system, or automated response system of being in a playful state, being in a joking state, being in a more chill, mellow, swell state with the partner or with the person, or relationships, or people say stuff to you. It's like you're not in it, so you're in it, but you're not of it. Okay? You can be the observer. Okay, you want to go this way, entertain it if you'd like to. But don't get the energy of feelings and shit involved. Obviously, it depends on content, context, etc. But in general sense, it's grounding yourself. Yeah, there's a few things that came off the noggin. Not, well, how to say? compendious and articulated, rather an expression of things and reference points of which I've had access to and know as observation and practicality. And it's like the more of those that are exemplars of being straight away for your kids, for your family, whoever else it might be that you don't even know, or the possession effect of an effect that you have that you'll never ever see that effect upon that person throughout the whole timeline of life and beyond. So genuine compassion, emerge the fun and play, it's all there. It's just your choice to trigger that, bring that energy in. You can always bring that energy in. You just have to ask, be within it, do it. Makes you ponder. As if like you're like that, how do you say, half moon in Disney, and the ones fishing from the moon and throwing their hook out and fishing the cosmos or the unified field of consciousness. And that's what you do when you alter that energy outward of, I'm going to be in a more playful state. I am in a playful state. I'm spiraling upwards, and this relationship and expansion is so beautiful that we're not responding in original ways. Forever expanding. This is beautiful. You might go, I've never really heard that talk. It's actually better than me going and attracting a magnet of energy that spirals me down and gets me depressed and tired and ruins relationship and closes the door on the partner and say, leave me alone. And go under yourself, under the covers, and say, fuck that. And go retrieve into your shell. And putting language that puts you down into the lower consciousness, lower state of consciousness on the consciousness map, if we're to use that as a calibration scale or a visual model scale of where you are putting yourself versus inviting yourself to go upwards, you're inviting yourself to go downwards. And then you're entering the model of victim or hero or villain, so to say. Okay. See, think about negative spiraling linguistic patterns within your available lexicon and adopt the linguistic or language lexicon or words of vocabulary that invites power and spiraling upwards, and put that as the automated language of which you use in those scenarios, and before you know it, those things will not exist. Or the magnitude of those situations literally does not exist, or especially in comparison, because you might have a 10 out of 10 situation and it's gone into freaking 4, 3, or 2, and you're like, oh my god, how freaking awesome is this? Okay, no, I think that's a pretty good solution. It's a lot better than freaking what's generally being recommended and given and whatever. It's like, generally just listen. Just listen. Like, really, go into your partner. Don't even think about questions and buts and rejection language and, oh, I accept this, and then put a frame language about this thing because I'm gonna put in this mental trap of fucking getting my point across, whatever it might be. Okay, it's just listen. And if someone feels listened to, they feel like they've the best conversation they've ever had in their life. Oh my god, that was such a good conversation. I can't believe it. No, I'm not interested. You're interested. I don't really have much to say, yeah, but no. Yeah, I'm just this chap. Okay. Oh, but yeah, that was seriously. Oh, I think I know that guy. But you could have said freaking nothing. You could have said nothing. Your partner could have said nothing, or the person that you're having a really, really good conversation, just super interested in you. And then, what happened was, what? an expansion, exchange of energy, which was not constrained to you. It was you entering the being of that energy of that person and that thing, and allowing what was in a cloth, and its emergent was you being the ear, and with certain questions that gave a stimulus to responses, and that grew, and emerged all these things that were just in cloth, meaning it was, imagine a cloth around this potential, okay, in cloth, okay, and then you unveiled, so you got a veil that was around it as well, and then you uncloth the veil, then the cloth freaking goes away, so the in cloth becomes the cloth, and then it fabricates into the world, okay? Now it goes into his tapestries of being, etc. Yeah. Yeah. It's not one line of thinking where I'm going with this. It's a multitude of layers that will serve everyone listening to this. And I've brought you through a few rabbit holes, I've brought you through a few crevices of reference material and experiences, and hope it serves you. And one of the biggest things I can say to you right now is, let's write it down on that piece of paper, and then just build out the realities and future-proof them with the possibilities of what can happen within those realities of which you see for yourself or selves, and then future-proof those selves to the ideal selves you would want to have for the best version of yourself. Okay, with that being said, have a freaking great day. Thank you for tuning in, and if you like more of this sort of coffee talk, let's say, and catching yourself and just letting the mic go and dialogue and exchange of energy go between us, drop a comment, drop it, subscribe, wherever it may be, and yeah, keep it going. It's gonna unfold greatly.